They made me report for duty the morning after I laid my father to rest. 16 straight hours. No break, no sympathy. Just the hum of a flickering light above a cold office desk and an even colder tone from my wife. "Grief won't cover the mortgage," she snapped. "Either sit back down or clean out your drawer." I blinked the sting out of my eyes and gave a single nod. What else could I do? She thought sorrow made me soft. Her father agreed, Mr. Weston to the public, Sir to the ones he underpaid, and Dad to the woman who once swore she'd stand with me no matter what. A vow, that's what it was. But only I knew how hollow it had become. There was a time when things were different, when her fingers would trace lazy loops in my palm whenever she felt uneasy, when her laugh felt like sunlight cracking through my chest. When I proposed, Weston smiled, not kindly, but like a predator sizing up its prey. 1 week after the honeymoon, he offered me a job in his firm. Said I'd rise through the ranks on merit. I didn't realize that meant bleeding on the climb while he held me down with a boot on my back. But I did it. For her. For what we were supposed to be. Only we was a fantasy. I stumbled on the first email by chance, her laptop left open, my eyes catching on a subject line that seared into my brain. He still has no idea. I clicked. Then read. Then read again. My fingers went numb. Her voice, that practiced tenderness, rang in my ears, every excuse about staying late, every lie dressed up as commitment. But it wasn't work she was loyal to. It was Nick, her father's business partner. All charm, white teeth, and a Rolex he never earned. She told him everything. What I earned, when I worked, even my father's diagnosis. "She's got ice in her veins," my dad once muttered. I should have listened. But I was either blinded by love or just starving for it. Something inside me shifted that day. Not a fiery rage. Rage is too noisy. This was something colder. Precise. I didn't shout. I didn't confront. I became quiet. Sharp. Calculated. She never realized I had installed tracking software on her phone. Weston had no clue I was using a second device. I became a shadow, methodical, disciplined. Just like they'd trained me. Only this time, I was the one pulling the strings. Over 2 months, I gathered everything. Emails. Financial trails. Wire transfers. I followed the breadcrumbs and found company money funneled through Nick's accounts, with Weston's digital approval stamped on every shady transaction. I duplicated everything. Stealthy. Flawless. My wife never changed her act. Still played the loving spouse. One night, she even leaned down to kiss my neck while slyly texting Nick behind her back. I smiled through it. I nearly lost it then and there. Everything came to a head at Weston's 60th birthday. The event was all glitz and polish. Black ties. Towers of champagne. Laughter that sounded like it had been rehearsed in front of mirrors. I walked in wearing the same suit I wore to bury my father. It felt fitting. I stood beside Weston as he raised his glass and delivered his grand speech, the self-made mogul, the towering patriarch. He praised his daughter first, then turned to me with a rehearsed warmth. "The son I never had," he declared. The crowd applauded. I stepped forward, tapped the microphone once. "I brought a gift," I said calmly. The room dimmed. A soft mechanical whir as the projector behind me flickered to life. The first slide appeared, an email from my wife to Nick. "He's easy to manipulate. Too soft." A hush fell across the room, uneasy murmurs spreading like smoke. Next slide. Internal company ledgers. A missing $820,000. Every cent traced and accounted for, just not by them. Then came the footage. Hotel surveillance. Nick and my wife, tangled in each other, her wedding band gleaming under the dim hotel light. The room went still, like oxygen had been sucked out. And then, the final piece. A voice memo played, Weston's voice, unmistakable, casual. Just tuck it in the R line and shift the budget. No one will notice. I faced the room. But I noticed, I said softly. A sharp gasp. A wine glass shattered against the floor. Weston's face drained of color. My wife moved a step in my direction, then hesitated. Something flickered in her expression, the mask slipping just enough. I turned my back as the footage continued to roll. I didn't wait for applause. I walked out. All I ever wanted wasn't praise, it was truth. And now they had it. By Monday, Weston had been forced out by the board. SACE opened an inquiry into financial misconduct. Nick disappeared. Some said he fled to Mexico. Others whispered about a federal cell. I didn't care enough to follow up. My wife tried calling. I blocked every number. One day, she showed up at my doorstep, barefaced, visibly shaken. "I made a mistake," she murmured. I stared back with nothing left in my eyes. "No. You made a decision." Then I closed the door. Slowly. With purpose. That weekend, I took my father's ashes to the lake, his favorite place, quiet and still. I sat on the edge of the dock, let the breeze carry through me, and released him. "You were right," I whispered. "They never loved me. But you did." And that truth, not revenge, gave me strength. Clarity. Weston still sends legal threats my way, hoping to plug the holes. But every lawsuit only fans the flames. Each motion filed drags his crimes further into the light. As for me, I started my own business. Modest, honest, peaceful. I work long hours, but they're mine. Sometimes I drive past their old office. It's always dark now. The empire collapsed. The lies exposed. The mask gone. And me. I'm free. I always knew the truth. Now the world does too.